Have you ever wondered what Baldur's Gate 3 with 100 plus mods look like? Well, in this video I'll be going over the top 100 mods in Baldur's Gate 3 in patch 7 using the Mod Manager as well as Nexus mods, and I have a guide on how to download them through Nexus mods. It's actually quite easy, but I'll be going over a ton of different ones. Most of them are in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager itself, so you can download these on console or on PC whenever it launches on console. So I guess the first few that I'll show off is just the UI. I really like a nice clean UI. You can see here there's nothing on the screen, so we can look around and we don't have anything bothering us because we are able to use the better hotbars 2 mod, the better minimaps, and the better sidebar mods, which allows us to hide them all here, which is incredible. I love the immersive UI mod, which was previously on Nexus mods, but this one's built into the game now and it works fantastically. It's made by Kate's and it's a total incredible mod to use. Now, you do have to drag everything over to be able to get the final bar, but you only have to do that once for each of your characters. And I really like this because this frees up the screen real estate. I'm also using the native camera tweaks, which allows us to move the camera all which ways and see our characters from a completely different way. And I'm also using the WASD mod, so we can run around just like this. And I think it's great. It makes the game feel somewhat like Dragon Age Origins, and it's very well done. But I'm going to get right into the thing that most people care about, the classes and the subclasses. There's actually quite a few already. This is at 1 week after launch, and I'm already impressed with the amount of classes that we do get in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager. So you can see here, all of the base 12 classes, and then we have the Mystic, the Dark Ranger, the Artificer, the Wizard, or the Witch, the Blood Mage, Slayer, Favored Soul, Scion Assist, and the Priest and Harlequin. Now, this is an incredible amount of extra classes. This is another 11. And things like the Witch come with their own subclasses, so I'll just take you guys through this briefly. The Witch is cool because it gives you the ability to turn into a cat as a cantrip, and then it gives you some nice spell choice here. And yeah, I'll just go briefly through this so you can see what it looks like. And you also get 3 unique subclasses with this: the Ice Witch, the Herbalist, and the Hex Witch. So you get to choose those at level 3 here. So you got your class passives in the subclass. So Herbalist gives you the same benefits as Transmutation Wizard. The Frost Witch is actually really overpowered, giving you a ton of ice spells, resistance to ice damage, and you get a bunch of extra benefits to increase your overall ice damage. And then the Hex Witch, which is mostly focused on applying debuffs, but it's still very powerful as well. So this is a really cool subclass with 3 unique subclasses. I think it's really well done overall, this mod. You get witchcraft points as well to be able to cast unique things. And yeah, I'm a big fan of the Witch mod. We also have, I'll go over some of the other ones that I really do enjoy. The Mystic being another really very, you've seen me cover this before probably. It's got a bunch of unique cantrips here, like things like Blade Meld, prevent you from being disarmed. You can confuse enemies, you can knock creatures prone with no check. This one is quite overpowered, but still pretty fun. And you can pull enemies together, have Mystic Hand. This energy beam here allows you to change your damage type. But what's really cool is you can see here all these psionic disciplines. So this comes with 5 or 6 different spells each, and you can see there's a ton of them. So I would spend 20 to 30 minutes going over all of these, but they do have some really cool options. Like you can give yourself Action Surge, which does cost like 5 psi points, which is the resource of this. But yeah, there's a ton of different disciplines, and you get to choose them every few levels to give yourself even further spells. And you can build around a variety of different things, because this covers elemental damage. Like it's got force, fire, gravity, ice, light and darkness, metal, nature, stars, time. Time's really cool because you can make a haste zone for your entire party, so you can drop this down. Your entire team gets haste when they run inside it. This is really cool. I'm obsessed with this mod. It's got a lot of things going for it. This is actually 2 mods in one. There's the Mystic and then the Mystic Expanded, which gives us a bunch more options here. And it comes with 9 subclasses, and it has benefits up to level 20. Unfortunately, I can't get a level 20 mod working correctly on patch 7 yet, but there is one on there. It does cause some issues with other mods, so I don't use it personally myself. But yeah, great number of subclasses here. I think the Mystic is fantastic. I won't spend too much more time on it because I've already done a few videos on it. The Dark Ranger, a bit of work in progress, similar to the World of Warcraft Dark Ranger. Artificer being a very cool subclass as well, giving us the ability to use cantrips alongside spells, and then it's also focused on using like guns and different weapons. So you can see here we got a ton of different infusements. The Artificer is really cool, and you get to pick a subclass, and there's 4 different subclasses. So You got the Alchemist subclass, giving you the ability to do create some elixirs. It's got the Armorer, which gives us the ability to use heavier armor. So we got heavy armor proficiency with this one. Gives us Magic Missile and Thunder Wave, and then some actions here. So very cool. You can do changes so that you can be subtle, giving yourself proficiency in stealth while you're wearing heavy armor. Or you can use armor to make yourself get to the front lines of combat a little quicker. The Artillerist, another subclass here, giving the Eldritch Cannon, Shield, and Thunderwave spells, and the Battlesmith. So I'll be doing a build guide on this today, so you can check that out a little bit later. This is a very cool subclass. The Battlesmith gives you the ability to create a Steel Defender, which is a summon, and it's like if you've played through Burnhall, the guy that's in the Arcane Tower in Act 1, Underdark, you get the ability to summon in one of those. So really cool subclass with tons of different options. It's extremely unique. I really like this subclass, and this one is on Nexus mods, but I do anticipate it will get released to the mod manager eventually because it's so in-depth. We also got the Blood Mage. This is a really cool one, using like necrotic damage, and it's more so like harnessing the power of your own vitality to make others suffer. Learn the spells that utilize and manipulate the very life essence that flows in the veins of yourself and enemies. So you get a few different spells here that are cool, unique to this. This one is actually in the Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager. So a few of these are, the Artillerist is the only one that I've covered so far that hasn't been in the game itself, but you do get lots of different options here. I think some of these mods are very nice and fill a niche that isn't covered in some other ones. And this one comes with 3 subclasses here. You get yourself the Blood Knight. This one isn't fully completed yet, but it is a work in progress. The Blood Magus, and the Blood Reaver. So 3 different unique subclasses for the Blood Mage. Very cool and a fun subclass to use. There's also the Slayer here, which is kind of like it's in the middle. It's a very powerful class. This is from a different rule set of Dungeons and Dragons, and it gives us a lot of skill proficiencies too, which is nice. So we got that there. I don't know if it's going to let me select it. Yeah, this won't let me continue any further, so I guess there must be a bit of an issue with this one working correctly, so I guess bear with us for this one. But this is a work in progress. I knew there was some issues with it. I might have some mods that are preventing me from going further. We have the Favored Soul. This is another one that's popular. It's from earlier rule sets of Dungeons and Dragons, and you get to choose a deity with it, which I love any of the choices that you get that allow you to choose deities. There are also mods that allow you to choose a deity as a paladin, which is really cool. And I also have some other subclasses. This one comes with 3 subclasses. The PS Templar, giving us the Fanaticism, giving us firm belief in advantage on saving throws. Use your spell casting ability for attack rolls with main hand weapon. Pretty cool. Hospitaller. So this one gives us the ability to heal a little bit better, like the Life Cleric, and gives us some healing spells. And the Evangelist here, giving us Inspire Dread and a few other options too. Great Orator, can inspire, protect, and otherwise improve the situation of his allies by speaking clearly and being heard. So Favored Soul, pretty cool subclass. The Psionicist, which is another fun one. This gives us a number of spells. It won't let me select this one, unfortunately, right now. The Priest being another really cool one. And I'll be going into some other subclasses for the base game in just a moment. I just want to cover a few of these here. The Priest is almost like the World of Warcraft Priest. It gives us the ability to smite, so we get Holy Power with this. Lesser healing, things like this will give us the Holy Power, which allows us to cast further spells. And bonus as an action, so toggle on to cast priest spells. Normally they cost a bonus action as an action, so got a lot of versatility with this one here. It does have a little bit of a glitch here with making this really large, but what's cool is it has its own resources, and it has a bunch of passives. Whenever you heal a ally, heal half of your class level. Leech Health, your connection with the shadow allows you to heal yourself for 20% of damage done whenever you deal damage with a spell. Really cool. And Inspiration plus Power Word Shield also grants targets +1 armor class. So this one's actually really nice. It gives a ton of different benefits. It does have its own resources, but you don't really get a subclass. It's more so just a class you go all the way through. You pick different passives. This one's really cool, though. I like it a lot. And I guess I have one more here to show off with we'll go down to the bottom here, the Harlequin. This is kind of like a bard rogue mixture. It has instruments. It has a lot of cool things there, so we'll just go ahead and level that up there. You get unnatural agility, increasing movement speed when not wearing a shield. I also have a bonus True Strike. So True Strike as a bonus action is another mod that I really do enjoy. So this is my full level 12 here. It won't let me go any further, so I'll just respec to show you guys some fighter, barbarian, monk, and ranger subclasses. So we got lots of options if you want to get really in-depth with it. We'll start off with the fighter. This is one of people's favorite subclasses, and there is a ton of subclasses that are in the fighter. So we'll just go through here with Action Surge, and then look at this. We got ourselves the Arcane Archer, the Banneret, which is the Purple Dragon Knight, Battlemaster Champion Eldritch Knight, Psy Warrior, which is really cool, giving us the ability to use extra force damage on our attacks. This is probably the strongest of the ones that I'm showing off here. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like the Battlemaster, but psychic damage, which is kind of like if you were to give Lae'zel her perfect class, it'd probably be a Psy Warrior. Rune Knight, which is cool. This makes your character bigger, taller, and you can use runes to power yourself up. So you can imbue yourself with the Might of the Giants. It's actually a really cool class, and then you're bigger naturally, and then you can also make yourself even bigger. And then if you all Baldur's Giant Slayer, you can make yourself even larger. It's really cool. And also the Samurai, which is cool. It has its own resource here. So all of these here are made by a specific creator. He's done a great job of making these mods. And the Blood Archer, this is another really cool one. These are all Nexus mods, but this one is built into the mod manager itself. So this is a pretty interesting one, giving you the ability to choose a bunch of arrows that deal different types of damage. And some of them, like the hunting arrow, this gives us like a magic missile for your bow, which is awesome. This creates darkness around the character, fire damage, charm arrows, you name it. It's got a lot of different choices. This is like you shoot multiple arrows in a straight line. Yeah, the fighter gets a lot of cool subclasses, but next I'll show you off the barbarian. So the barbarian gets a lot of fun ones too. So a lot made by the same creator that made the previous ones. So if we look here, we got the Battle Rager, which gives you spiky armor and allows you to tackle people with your armor, which is pretty nice. We have the Giant, which makes you bigger as well, and gives you the Wrath of the Giants, Giants Havoc, and you get to pick Giants powers there, which is kind of nice. The Storm Herald being my favorite of the subclasses. You get to choose a Storm Aura, so the Desert will give you fire damage in addition, and your teammates actually get this extra damage as well. The Sea gives us a Lightning Aura, so we go Rage to the Sea, and this gives us like that Lightning Aura around the character. This gives us a Fire Aura, and this one gives us an Ice Aura, which actually just heals your teammates. So I really like this subclass because it just adds a whole lot of new ways to play the Barbarian, and it's a good buffer for your team. Zealot or Zealot, getting people tell me both different pronunciations of this. This gives you the ability to add radiant damage, and you can pick a deity, so this is really cool. So I do have a mod that allows me to worship Baal and Bane and things like that, but it's got all choices here. Even Shara, I have a mod for that. So you can pick whatever type of deity you want. It gives you the dialogue options similar to how you'd play as a cleric. I think that's incredible. And then also on top of this, the monk subclasses that we got here are very nice as well. So once we get to level 3, I'll show you what all those look like. So with the monk, we get ourselves a few choices. We got the Way of the Astral Self, giving us the Arms of the Astral Self, which is giving you a little bit extra punching at range. And you get further range in your damage and deal additional force damage. The Way of the Astral Self is a very fun subclass. Way of the Kensei, this is a fun one too, because if you're not familiar, this allows you to pick weapons to become monk weapons. So you can go around with long swords, you can use your Falar Aluve and still attack. And if you multiclass in the Thief, it lets you sneak attack with this. I think this is a really fun one because it changes how you play as a monk, because you can still punch, but you also get these weapons that count. You can even do like battle axes, sickles, tridents. So you can do a Tavern Brawler throw build with the trident, so you can use the Nyrulna trident and attack with it. And you can also do monk attacks with your hand crossbows. So I really like the Way of the Kensei. I know a lot of other people do. We also have the Way of the Long Death, which gives it has a spell that allows you to attack and do darkness in a large area, and it causes frightened, and it's an action. So you can use that and apply it to a bunch of people and then go around punching people too. Way of the Long Death is an interesting one. Not the strongest, but I think it's still really great. The Open Hand's probably still the strongest out of all these that I'm showing you guys here. So that just goes to say how well balanced some of these mod creators are. The creator for this one, Schumer Garath, I don't remember, and I'll put it in the description here, but they made all these mods, did a fantastic job with them. I covered them a bit more in depth in a previous video, and the creator commented on it, so you can go check that video out. But the Way of the Sun Soul, another really cool one, giving us a Radiant Sunbolt and Sunbolt attacks. What's cool about this subclass is you actually get to pick a deity as well. So It's more of like a cleric focused on radiant and fire damage. It's actually quite strong, but not OP, which is nice. I really like these classes that are strong but not broken. And I guess I'll show you off some other ones. We got the Warlock here with the Dread Overlord. You can see you got some really cool ones. Necrotic Armaments, Reclaim Undead. This has the ability to summon in a bunch of new unique summons. You can pause it here if you want to read any of these subclass features here, because there actually is quite a few different benefits that I won't get fully into, because I did do a full build guide on this as well, so you can check that out if you want some further insight. But you can summon in little crawling claws here, and you can summon up to like 12 of them. You can also summon in the ability to make a Warlock. It's from a dead corpse, so you can get a skeletal Warlock. You also get the ability to summon in a giant skeleton, and then there's another one that's like a Banshee that just is broken strong. This one is quite overpowered. This one's also on the Baldur's Gate 3 Mod Manager. I downloaded this one from Nexus Mods, but it is in the Baldur's Gate 3 Mod Manager, so it's nice to see those getting ported over. We also got the Undead Warlock here, which gives us the ability to choose a patron that we can get some extra benefits from. So the Greater Mummy, Grave Touch Ghoul, Nightwalker, Spectre, Eldritch Undead. Some really cool options here. I also have the Celestial Warlock, which is more of a... It's a Radiant focused one, allows you to heal and use different spells to be able to heal your team. And then we got the Remembrance, which is... It's meant to be for like the Dark Urge. It's an interesting one. This gives you magical secrets at level 6 and level 10, but you only get to pick one spell from it. So we got a lot of really great Warlock subclasses. And even like the... we don't have any Druid ones yet built into the game, nor do we have Cleric, but we do have some Sorcerer ones, like the Succubin Sorcerer here, giving us the ability to... Queen's Blood give us improved defenses. We have the Voidborn, which is work in progress, but we do got a couple Sorcerer subclasses here, which I think is nice. The Wizard, I'll show you this next. The Wizard has some subclasses too. My favorite being the Spellblade, and that's really the only one that I got installed. I had to uninstall a couple of them. I did a build guide on this one yesterday. It's really cool, allowing you to do finesse weapons. You basically get an extra reaction, and you can attack enemies that come close to you, so... This actually works really well. I think it's a nice little dip if you're looking for something new to add into your character. And then we also got the ability to add the Oathbreaker Paladin as a subclass that we select from the start. So that's really nice, giving the ability to play as that right from the jump. I guess I'll go over Rogue, and then I'll show you the Ranger as well. So the Rogue gets a few subclasses too. There's a ton already built into the Baldur's Gate 3 Mod Manager. So the Nightingale, this is in the Mod Manager itself, giving us dark vision and a few extra benefits here and a fighting style too. I also like there's a mod in the manager that allows you to add a double attack at level 8 and then also add a fighting style when you get to level 10 of the Rogue. So I thought that was a nice balance patch. I'll be showing those off a little bit later, because the Rogue doesn't feel as strong as the other classes because it only gets one attack. And when other classes can get 2 attacks, it's just weaker by comparison. So I'll show you guys off the fighter, or I guess the Ranger subclass here, the Void Walker, which is a really cool one. Or Horizon Walker. This gives us the ability to get advantage on perception checks for 10 turns. It says anytime you see 1 minute, 6 seconds is a turn in Dungeons and Dragons. The Planar Warrior here, you can choose a creature which you see, and you can deal additional force damage to it. So this is a pretty cool one. Not overpowered. That's the nice thing about a lot of these subclasses. They're not brokenly strong, and I can appreciate that because it allows you to play as them and not get overpowered and still enjoy the game. There are some overpowered builds. I did remove them, like the Draconic Cultivator it was called. It was a subclass that was extremely overpowered. And then for the subclass, we got the College of Glamour here, which is a pretty funky one. Play a song that charms humanoids to prevent them from attacking you. And Mantle of Inspiration, getting 5 temporary health points. So another Bard subclass. There were some more I had downloaded, but I had to remove them because they were causing issues. But I'm hoping that they will get patched up for patch 7. Now I'll go over some other cool things, and then we'll get into some cosmetics. So I really like the ability to... There's mods that allow you to get weapon proficiency, summon instrument scroll. So this is a loot of magical sprites, which allows us to do some cool things. We can perform and do different songs. So this allows us to perform and have the bard dance. So we'll perform this, and then it brings people in to enjoy. Some of these are cool because it'll summon in extra characters to play with you. I failed the performance check. Oh no. Share musical gifts, so you can give music proficiency to others, and then you can go ahead here with your songs, and then they'll join in. So they're playing the drum. I guess Shadowheart doesn't have anything here, so I'll give her something. And we'll give Minsk one of these as well. So you can go ahead here with the music, and then you got your Cascade of Lyres here. So this one's really fun. I love this, allowing you to play music with your whole squad. There's something just sweet about this, so you go ahead there, you give them the ancestral ones. This one's fun because it summons in a ghost. I'm playing as the Dark Urge, so this allows you to play as the Tragic Tiefling Bard. I love this mod. It's just super interesting to be able to do things like this. And then Counter Charm. We get a little bit of benefits from this as well, so I love this mod. Just being able to play music with your friends, it's great. So, and then the summoned in ones can also play with it, so I'm having some issues. There should be little ghost instruments playing along, but you can see here, like we got Shadowheart playing her flute, we got Will banging on the drums, we got Minsk shaving his head with the lute. We got everyone going all in on this. This is a really cool mod. I love this one. It's just one of those mods that's fun. It makes the game a lot more enjoyable. So I'm a big fan of these. We also have Shadowheart using her flute as a gun, I guess. Yeah, there are some issues obviously that comes with these. Minsk is trying to play, but he wants to play with he wants to shave his head. So yeah, I love these. The different songs you get have different abilities, and they kind of change. There's supposed to be these floating around, but yeah, that is that for that mod. I guess I'll get into some cosmetic mods because I could play with this all day. It's pretty funny. But when we look into cosmetics, there's a ton of really cool cosmetics. So you can see my character looks a little bit different than the stock Baldur's Gate 3 characters. So different face mods. This is the Vemp mod, and this gives us a slew of different faces. So the base one that I always use in all my builds is this one here. I think this one looks pretty nice, but this one looks a little similar to it. It's a little bit different. Tons of options here that just give you some more creativity. There's also the most popular mod in the Baldur's Gate 3 Mod Manager right now is the Faces of Faerun. So that's another equivalent of this. I just found this one works better and has some different options that I like a little bit more. But I've played around. There's a ton of different face mods that you can get that just, they all look pretty good for male and female characters. So you got both sides there, or I guess whatever character you want to play as. And then also we got the ability to add extra hair. So this one's pretty cool because it can add on top of what your character already has. So you can see here, you can add tons of different things. Some of them obviously look pretty silly, but you can combine this with like some of the smaller hairstyles to give yourself a full creative look. And they all work with the hair dyes and everything, so very nice. And then this one here gives different bangs and stuff. So you can combine them to give yourself whatever appearance you want to have in Baldur's Gate 3. And I think that's the nice thing about this, is you get so much creative freedom to be able to combine these. These are using the jaws and the chins of the Draconic for the Dragonborn. So Dragonborns won't get these options, but they're here for every other character. So tons and tons. You can even get like Harlock's fringes, Isabel's hair. It has all types of hair choices in this. So that is the Bangs Everywhere mod. And I forget the name of this one, but I'll be covering it. I'm going over a full list of these at the end so you can see all the mods there. There are some body art mods, but I don't know. I can't get them to work properly. I have some different mods here that gives us cool new eye colors, like that blue there. There's also this ice blue, which changes the pupil color, which is kind of intensive. But there's even like undead eyes, some purple ones. I really like Damon's eyes here. So there's the NPC Damon, and then you can even give yourself some purple eyes. Like lots of different choices here. And then there's ones that are this is the P4 by Padme 4000. So lots of options there. Options for makeup, giving you the ability to do like Saza's colors, Minthara's lipsticks, Lucius tattoo. Like there's a few different ones that are not in the base game that you can now get access to with the mod manager. So it just gives you a little bit more creativity if you want to make your character's makeup change. Now the big one here, this is the simple hairstyles. So this gives us a few hairstyles that are a bit more basic that you can also just create and customize here. So you can see there, we got that one there. There's only 7 choices here. This is in the Baldur's Gate 3 Mod Manager, but this is Tav's Hair Salon. This is a really popular mod, and I love this one because it gives us a ton of different hair options here. I do feel like this will get ported over to the Baldur's Gate 3 Mod Manager eventually, because a lot of these hairs are very similar to what we already have in the game itself, so I love them. They have a lot of really cool options. You probably have seen these before in different people's playthroughs, because I know they're extremely popular, so There's a ton of different choices here that you can go through, making your character look exactly the way that you want them to look. A lot of freedom here in terms of what you do. Some of them are modifications of other characters' hair that's already in the game. Some of them are their own unique hairstyles, so tons of options that I think is really nice, and it allows you to play as a character that makes you, if you want to make your character look exactly like you can do that with this mod. So yeah, there's some really cool hairstyles here. I'm just going to go through and show a few more because I'm impressed with this. Tab's Hair Salon, one of the most popular hair mods. You can give yourself the Loba from Apex look. You got all different sorts of hair options. So very versatile mod. You can give yourself things that are just extremely different. It has more hair options than the base game, so there's a ton of them. It even has Shadowheart's little hair hook thing there. So it has this one here, which has Orin's hair, but it has a bit of a different ending on it, and it's got some little jewels in it. So there's some pretty cool ones, like you can see there. This is all the base game hair options. There's all the Tab's Hair Salon ones. There's a ton. So yeah, and then there's some beard mods, but I couldn't get any of them to work properly. So yeah, that's what that looks like there, and we got lots of options. Also, just to show off, I have this mod here, which is a better inventory. So it shows 6 characters. So this is good for if you have the multiple teammates in your party here. You get to see them all. Changes how the items look, so some of them will have a background to them. It'll say their rarity, tell you a few different things about them, which I'll go over once I go over to my full mod list here. So I do like these UI mods to just clean up the appearance of the game. There's ones that'll fix how this looks. So yeah, I guess I'll go back to the main menu now just to show off what we got going on in terms of the full mod list, so that you can see every single mod and the names of them, so that if you want to download the mods that I have in this game, you'll be able to do so as well. So I'll have them all listed out, so that if you've seen one, I'll explain what it does for each of these, so that you can go and download the mods that you want. I got over 100 different mods here, so pretty crazy. First things first, the community library. If you're going to use Nexus mods and you want any extra classes, you do have to use this mod in order to be able to load in everything correctly, and it has to be at load order number 1. You can see here I have the Better Mod Manager mod here, which allows me to change around the mod load order so we can move things up or down. P4 custom dyes. This is incredible. I didn't even go over to the dye mods, but this gives us a ton of different dye options. There's a few different dye mods, but this one in Faerun colors being the best of them. Simple hairstyles, I covered that briefly there. It's like the 7 different hairstyles that I showed off. Sometimes there's issues with it loading in the images for them. Imp UI, you're going to see a lot of mods that require this one, so you pretty much need to download this. This was a mod prior to the mod manager, but the creator thankfully brought this into the into Baldur's Gate 3 itself. This allows you to do a bunch of different things that you normally can't do without it, so important. Better hotbar too. This is nice. It allows you to hide the hotbar. It stretches it to fit a bit more of the lower screen. And if you want to access some things like Hunter's Mark and Witch Bolt, you do have to drag all the bars over to the left-hand side, and then you'll get the final bar, and then put it back to normal. Just a little tip there, because I had some people talking about that. Better dyeing is nice. This allows it so that anytime you use a dye, it's instant, and it doesn't use up the dyes that you have. So that's obviously huge. Faerun colors. As I mentioned, this one's incredible. That's how I was able to get a lot of these cool looking dyes, and as you can see, there's lots of great options there. P4, bangs everywhere, is made by Padme 4000. This one is great. Gives us the option to add in some extra bangs, as you can see. NPC eye skins and hair colors gives us the options to do like Asterian's hair. You can add in really any character that you see, their hair color, their eye color, etc. Carry weight extra. I just hate the carry weight because I carry so many items in this game. So this removes it all for everyone. I played through this game enough times to do it without having to worry about carry weight. Now for dice skins, this is the only one that I'm going to show off in this video. I didn't want to put a bunch in to overextend the amount of mods that we're using, but there's tons of different ones. I'll show you guys just briefly at the end some different options that you got, but I think this one looks pretty nifty. Citizens outfits, this one is having some issues. I guess it won't even show us the image here, but this one is items that are found on NPCs throughout Baldur's Gate 3, so you get those there. And you get those, you can buy those from the merchants. It might not be shown in the mod manager, but it'll be updated soon, hopefully. P4 hair colors gives us the option to get some more hair colors. Any mod by P4 is made by Padme 4000. There are a ton of great mods. Mod manager fixes, and the mod manager fixes and tweaks. Both of these help make this mod manager work a little bit better, and lets us change the mod load order. So you can see here, we can put these around, changing the load order. K's hair extensions. This is the mod I was mentioning. So this gives us the ability to put different hair selections and customize them all, put them all together. P4 eye colors. This gives us a ton of different eye colors in this game. So that is really nice, just giving us the freedom to be able to change over the eyes as you see fit. The Mystic class. That's the one that I was hyping up. It does require imp UI, but you got a ton of different options here. And then you can also go with the Mystic expansion here, which gives us even further subclasses. I don't know why that's the image, but it is what it is. Selenite's Paladin Oathbreaker allows us to play as the Oathbreaker. It doesn't give us the normal Oathbreaker tags whenever we're in dialogue because it would cause a break in the game. So if you really want to play as a true Oathbreaker, just go steal or just go take the Hag's hair in Act 1. Tiny pets, I didn't even cover this, but it gives you little tiny pets that can meow. They're mostly just cosmetic, but you can see there they meow. There's a Spectator, a Mind Flayer, a Displacer Beast, and a Graminchka, a little cat. Spellblade School gives us another subclass. I did a build guide on that yesterday for the Wizard. Really fun. Not overpowered, but it is quite strong. Gale's Fine Familiar Terra. I love this mod. Allows you to summon in Terra as a Fine Familiar if you're playing as Gale, who should be a Wizard likely. And the Fine Familiar spell will now only give that to him. And Terra can also use like Firebolt and a few other spells, so it's pretty cool. Dark Ranger beta test. Having some issues with this mod. There's a Mystic Expanded. Ranger Pets Unarmored. This takes off the armor from the Ranger's pets. I think that's a great fix because it'll keep all the cool effects, but it removes the armor, which I just didn't like. It makes me sad that they have them on it. Half a Lithid removes the Lithid appearance so that you look normal again. There is script extender mods for that. The Remembrance Warlock, I did cover that one. It's for the Dark Urge. Savant Instruments allows anyone to play an instrument. You don't have to be proficient in it, so that's nice. Clear Map. So this changes the map. I didn't even mention this one, or I didn't show this one off. But whenever you go into the map, you're going to have a much clearer map. Doesn't have like the UI hovering up there. It disappears and you can mouse over it. Damage Preview 2 is nice. You can see there. So if you mouse over someone you're going to attack, it'll tell you how much damage you're going to do and the % chance of hitting it. So that one's really nice. Just simple UI changes. Better target info will tell you what resistances and weaknesses the target has and any of the things that are affecting it, like threatened or burning. Better map, this one I covered. It gives you a better mini map, super useful. Better combat log allows you to hide the combat log, gives you the ability to move it around, change its percentage that it shows through. Eldritch Knight War Magic, so this gives you the ability to cast a cantrip as a bonus action instead of an action after attacking. So I think that one's pretty nice, not busted. It encourages you to play the Eldritch Knight a little bit differently. Preset Mizora gives us Midora's human forms, a select one fully customizable preset for body type 1 humans. So that's nice. Basket full of equipment. So some of these ones here with no image, like little X and the little exclamation mark, means it's coming from Nexus mods. So all of these here are Nexus mods only. This is where I got all the equipment from. I wasn't going to go through every single piece because there's a ton. This one's a safer work one, but there is a not safe one. Tab's Hair Salon, I covered that. Incredible hair mod, but there are some hair mods in the Baldur's Gate 3 Mod Manager. This gives icons for it as well. The Nightingale mod, this is a rogue subclass, pretty strong. The Artificer, I mentioned this is a really popular subclass, super useful. And here's all the subclasses. So the Samurai from 5e, also got the Witch subclass here. You can easily update these two as you go, which is nice. We got the Way of the Long Death Monk, Psy Warrior, Ancestral Self, Sun Soul, Kensei, Giant, Arcane Archer, 5e, Battle Rager, Banneret or Purple Dragon Knight, Horizon Walker, Zealot, Rune Knight, Storm Herald, Warlock, Undead, and Dread Overlord. This one is in the Baldur's Gate 3 Mod Manager, so I do have the third-party version, but it's also in the game too. Level curve unlocked, so this does have some issues if you're using this along. It won't work for me for whatever reason. I can't actually take a character, as you could see previously, past level 12. So this one is probably worth not taking, but that takes me down to 100 mods. I was over 100 there. But the Celestial Warlock, this is a cool one I mentioned. You get healing as a Warlock and some Radiant spells. Scratch Overhaul, this is a cool one. I was told by a commenter and someone that's on a few of my different videos that this is a really nice one, and I looked into it and used it a bit. So you can level Scratch up, he'll avoid tracks, you can speak with him, and it sometimes will spawn in a second Scratch, which is pretty funny. He becomes downed at 0 health points, so you can pick him back up. Wears his collar. Lots of cool benefits to Scratch now. Better inventory UI changes the ability changes the look of your UI in the game. Visible shield shows your shield on your back whenever you have your weapon sheath, which is nice. Nice little change that I think should have been in the base game. Better context menu will give us better context on the menu. That's pretty what the title says. Better top bar condenses things down and makes it look a little bit better. It gives you better information on targets on the top when you're in combat. Better containers, opens up the containers, makes them a little bit bigger, and just a little bit nicer UI. Better tooltips, changes, shows if you're using a concentration. The author Cates has made these, and they made a lot of really great mods, so I'm a big fan of that one there. It's really, really useful. Better inventory UI, it just creates the inventory, making it look a little bit cleaner. Dynamic sidebar gives us the full sidebar there, and allows you to toggle it to hide as well, so I love this one. Origin dialogue tags will show you if you have unique dialogue, if you're playing as an origin character. I'm doing a Gale run, so this is super useful here. Gale's beard fixes his weird patching in his beard. Now, if only they could do it on mine, that'd be perfect, but I'll take a fix for Gale first. CPCCE, companions panel and camp chest everywhere, allowing you to access your camp chest at any time just by clicking down on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Really nice, love that. Blood Mage, very cool class. These, again, any of these ones here that are just like, you can see an image for, these are in the Baldur's Gate 3 Mod Manager. So this one's really nice, still a work in progress, but it's a fun one. Do not attack the ground. This is nice because I've attacked the ground many times and it annoys me. So being able to reduce that, super nice. Long Strider area of effect, enough said. It should be an area of effect. It's annoying to apply it to everyone. So better characters and party panels now makes them a little bit smaller, so you can fit 6 of them on a screen at one time. Vemperin's other heads, so that was the heads that I showed you. Changes the appearance of their heads. No press key, so whenever you start Baldur's Gate 3, you don't have to press any key to continue. It just jumps you right in. Love that. 5e Glamour Bard subclass. So this does have progression up to level 20, so that's cool. I like whenever classes have that. Blood Archer subclass for the fighter, which I mentioned. Succubin Sorcerer, supports up to level 17. Slayer Redux, this did break, but it's kind of like a mixture of the Hunter and a Rogue. Favored Soul, so that's another subclass. It has a bunch of subclasses within it. Pretty nice. Voidborn Sorcerer subclass. So this one wasn't working properly, but it's another subclass mod. College Dance Bard, another one that doesn't really work properly yet, but that's the problem. Sometimes these will break as you add more mods. So I highly recommend just adding a few mods at a time and testing every single time, because I've had some of these work and some of them stop working. This one's cool. Gloves of Arcane Acuity, so it's like the Helmet of Arcane Acuity. Whenever you make an attack, you get 2 turns of Arcane Acuity, gives you a +2 to your spell save DC. This is perfect for a Bard Paladin subclass. I've done a subclass build on that. It's incredibly powerful. Psion Assist, giving you the ability to do psychic attacks, and it's very strong. Rogue extra attack at level 8. There's also a Rogue fighting style level 10 one, which is nice. The Priest class, inspired by World of Warcraft. This one's pretty cool. 21 new spells, 19 new passives, and a new resource, Holy Power. I covered that briefly. It's really nice. Harlequin class is from Nexus Mods. It's a cool combination of Bard and Rogue. Compatibility framework. So this alongside the community library, you need both of these in order to load some of these classes. This has to be below the classes that you're using, so make sure that's at the bottom of your load order. New loading screens. This is a cool one. I'm not sure why it's disabled, but this gives us the option to see a bunch of new loading screens when we go into a game. Celestial Warlock. So I covered this one. I had 2 of the mods because one of them was having a little bit of an issue. Secret Scrolls gives us scrolls that aren't currently in the game, so like a shield of spell scroll for shield, flame strike, etc. I just downloaded it and it's already got an update. That's nice. And sometimes they do that. The updates don't work. Dragonborn buff. This is cool. So breath weapon cooldown once per combat, and it does increase amounts of damage. This should be the case all the time. The Dragonborn needs a buff really badly. So this is a cone with a 10-meter radius, so huge. Unfail, it gives 2 turns of acid, burning, ray of frost, shocking grasp, and attack as a bonus action. So this gives the Dragonborn breath a big buff, which it just desperately needs because it's so useless right now. True Strike as a bonus action, that's a very fun one to use. Mod Manager Plus allows us to go ahead and give some extra benefits to the Mod Manager, but I like the other 2 ones as well. So you can choose which one of those you want to use. Better Split Items allows us to split items a little bit more freely. Ember's Loot, this is the fun one I was showing off. The Musical Performance mod allows you to go ahead and perform with your friends, and it's got a lot of quality of life and VFX. Very nice. I love that mod. Bliss. So this gives a difference between when you block an attack and when you dodge an attack. I know I had a few people commenting and asking for this, and it's now in the game, so block and miss differentiation. Very cool. Elemental Power Genocide. So this gives us the ability to give 3 different types of rays from fire, earth, air, and water. So I know a lot of people are asking for this mod, and it's finally available. And finally, Astral Elves. So this is, we had 101 here, but this is the Astral Elves one, which is really cool. New race with some different benefits. So yeah, we got tons of different options in there. I covered each one of them that I have. Only 2.6 gigabytes in 100 mods, pretty good. A little tip, if you want to be able to see the mods a little bit better, go under here and go trending and go most downloaded. You're going to see some of the most popular ones. I mentioned the Face of the Faerun, very popular mod. Adjust party limit. I have a different one that works a little bit better, so I use that one instead of this one. Unlock level curve. I do have some issues with that. All camp closed and dies from the start. So you can see there's a ton of really cool mods in this game that I can only see getting expanded further and further as time goes on. So yeah, I just want to touch on this and give my top 100 mods in Baldur's Gate 3's patch 7 and just give a full overview of what it looks like. So yeah, if you found this video useful, please hit that subscribe button below. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.